All right, guys, welcome back. Today's beverage I have is this tiny little cup right here. See that? Not so bad. That's going to take me a long time to finish this one. And to make things better, I have a tiny little spoon. Right? It's the it's the little things in life. It's what I like to tell myself. So today's one is actually quite sad a little bit. So let's check this one out. This says, "Does anyone else feel like creativity in the DAW dies a bit as you get older?" And yeah, it kind of does a little bit. So going here. So I'm approaching 30 now. I started producing in my early mid 20s, and back then it felt effortless. I'd hit flow state almost every time I opened my DAW, ideas just spilled out, and I loved it. Which, yeah, I think that's kind of how we all start, how we all get into it, right? This is so much fun and all the cool stuff you can do. And once you start getting a little bit better, you can apply those things and you kind of start getting better, right? It's kind of how we all get into it, I suppose. Then we get old. Now that feeling has completely waned. Life's gotten heavier. Yep, goddamn right about that one. Between a full time professional career with increasing responsibilities, owning a home, relationship, pets, and other adult tasks, I feel like creativity is just gone. Yeah, it'll feel like that. I mean, if you got all these things going on in your life and then you kind of can't really I mean, you can maybe block it out a little bit, but let's be honest, it's probably what at the end of the day if you can, and by that time you're kind of the worst version of yourself. You're tired, you might be hungry, hungry and poor and all that shit. So yeah, maybe. I mean, towards the end of the day that's probably at least for me it used to be the best time because it's quiet and you can just focus on things, but as we age into the old people we are now, I mean, your bones are breaking down. You get tired earlier. It's like 7:30. You're like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. It's like 8 o'clock. Like, I've never been up this late before in my life. So the energy kind of goes down. And I think by default, your creativity also goes down as well. But let's continue reading here. He says, I still get into the DOM most nights, which that's actually pretty good. At least you haven't given that up. That's the first sign. But the sessions feel all over the place and my energy is depleted. Yep, exactly right. After playing with a half baked idea, I feel no connection to it and scrap it. This process repeats pretty much daily. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that will happen. I would try to suggest, though, even though that whatever you're creating, this half baked idea, just keep finishing it, full bake it. You know what I mean? Make it complete and then move on. Because if you have all these half things, you're going to keep starting at the same spot and then ending. It's kind of like every time I played Skyrim, I would start the game and I would get pretty far, at least decently far. I'd be into it for a few days and I'd get really far and I'd get familiar with the game again. And then I would quit, not like intentionally, not like I quit and, close my computer, but I just stopped playing. Life happened and, you just stop playing a video game. That happens. And then a long time would go by, and I'll be like, you know what? Let me play Skyrim again. And I'm like, oh, I forgot where I was. I don't even know all the stuff I have. So let me just start the game over again. And I would almost every time quit right about the same spot. So you're kind of just in repeat. You're just looping the same spot. So maybe finish that whole half baked thing. It's going to be better that way because then you can have something to show for it. And then, interestingly, my mixing and sound design skills have improved tenfold over the years, but the spark to create something meaningful feels completely lost. Yeah, I mean that's it's weird, right? Like in the beginning, there's almost this concept where your skills are awful, but your inspiration, your flame, your fuego is strong. You want to create stuff, you want to make things, but you're just not good at it. But you still do it. I mean, I think back to the old stuff I did, and I was so inspired and I could pump out a song all the time, every day, and just here's just my expression of art in musical form. And yeah, it sounded awful for sure, but it was still something I would create. And I would like doing it. And yeah, I mean, that's just one thing of those. And then you get older and you get better. You know how to use all these tools, EQ, compression, delay, reverb, saturation, all these plugins. You get good at them because you keep using them, right? It's the logical progression. But then the inspiration kind of starts to change. You start to get less inspiration, then you get better at whatever it is you're doing, which is really weird how that works. And I felt that too when I was, I guess, just learning the technical sides of just audio in general. My technical side would increase, and then my creativity would decrease. And then when I'd focus on the creativity, that would increase, but then the technical would decrease. And it was always this teeter tottering thing, but they also kind of work in tandem. So while you start kind of down here and you kind of just do this, then you eventually get higher on both. But while you're in it, it kind of feels like it sucks. Where are we here? I've taken long breaks, even half a year at times. I mean, sometimes you have to. But when I come back, the energy still isn't there. I listen back to older work in progress that I've made some whips, and I can't even believe I made them. It feels like it was done by a different person than who I am now. I mean, yeah, yeah, that does happen. Like I was saying before in an earlier episode, where like, yeah, it's kind of like a what was it, a sonic diary or a sonic journal of your time, like a stamp, like a picture of that time, but just in audio form. I also deal with a lot of analysis paralysis. It's weird how those words rhyme. Probably some form of OCPD, and I don't even know what that is, and I think that's part of the problem. The more I learn, the harder it gets to finish anything. Yeah, I obsess over every tweak, the infinite possibilities, and okay, I see what you're saying. The infinite possibilities in modern production and the bars that have been set just bury me. Yeah, I would suggest just picking like two synths, maybe a couple plugins, and just keep finishing stuff. Even if the half baked idea sucks and you kind of don't really want to do it, just finish it. Just put like another section to it and just call it done and then move on and never look at it again. That's kind of what I do with my songs as well. I try to just finish it, and once it's done, I'll put it out there. I'll not put it out there, whatever it is, and then I'll just never really look at it again. That's just for my own personal stuff. Um, Anyone else relate to this? Did you find a way to get your fire back? I appreciate any insights for those who have gone through similar episodes like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can only base it on experience that I've gone through personally, and I would say I don't know if that fire ever really comes back. It's just different. Since you're older, or we're all older now, and we get tired earlier, and we're angry and grumpy and stuff. Maybe find and block out a time more so in the morning, and even if it's just like 1 hour that you can just concentrate on whatever it is, then do that and do the Pomodoro. I still don't know how to say that word, but basically, open up your session and work for 25 minutes uninterrupted. That means like no cell phone, no internet, no browsing, just you and your song. 25 minutes, nothing else disturbs you, nothing else, just you and the song. Make it intimate. And then once your timer ends of that 25 minutes, maybe get up, walk around, scroll, whatever it is you do to kind of just distract yourself from life. Maybe do that for 5 or 10 minutes and then do another 25 minutes of that. So then you're almost at about a full hour. So if you do that for that song and then finish it, then you're going to start to get into a rhythm, because the thing with the fire and that like passion stuff that we have in the beginning that gets us all into this, it kind of tricks us. It's like the honeymoon phase of music production. You can't rely on that because it will be there sometimes, and if it's there, cool, ride that wave, but it's not always going to be there. Sometimes you just have to sit down there and just start tweaking some knobs, maybe just add another section, and doing that method of the 25-minute thing, you're going to for the most part, once that timer hits, you're going to like, oh, just this one last thing, but just try to pull yourself away from it, so you're kind of almost artificially building that energy again. So yeah, let's see what this says down over here. So at 55, my creativity is even better than when I was 15. Wow, God bless you. That's crazy. It's not my situation. I think your energy is tapped due to other life responsibilities. Yeah, I mean, with house, family, pets, all the stuff that you mentioned. I mean, yeah, it's hard to squeeze in time to be creative and do something that you like. But you kind of need that though in life. There was a time where, and it's still kind of like that for me as well. Or if I don't make something, or if it's not a patch, if it's not a song, if it's not something, life feels weird until you kind of create it and get it out. It's kind of like a cycle of something. I don't know. There's probably a more eloquent way to say that, but yeah, I'm sure you kind of understand what I'm saying with that. This might sound weird, but try making some covers of existing music, but in your style. Interesting. Classic old school video game soundtracks are a gold mine for this. Gets the creative juices flowing, gets you in the producing state, but you don't have to come up with original melodies. I mean, that might work for someone. I could probably never do that. I don't know, just not for me. But hey, it might work for you. It's a bit of a commitment, but if it's a big goal to get back into touch with your creativity, try reading The Artist Way and committing a few weeks to the program so you are able to get back into your creative brain. It's kind of crazy, right? Like in the beginning of our journey, we're so inspired and we want to learn and get better, and we practice and practice, and we start getting to this point where we actually kind of get good. And then now we're like, oh, the spark's gone. Now I have to read a book to reignite that spark. That kind of sucks if you think about that. Man, you're just not consuming as many creative ideas from other artists due to the lack of free time. Yeah, I mean, I guess when we were all young, right? We had all our CDs, and our CD wallets, I guess, whatever they were called, and we would just always listen to music. That was just part of life. Put on this album, put on that album, so on and so forth, and that was just kind of the thing. And I think now, ironically, how we have Spotify and just we can listen to any song that we want to whenever we want to, it almost feels like we don't listen to it as much, or if we do, it's not in the same way that we used to listen to music. Because man, you remember when a new CD would come out and you would know when it would drop, you'd go to the store, you'd buy it, and you'd put it in your CD player, and those were good times. I miss that. I get scared to open it. I get scared to open it up, man. I used to be absolutely mean with it, just so creative and fearless. Now I'm a little dork. Oh, don't be harsh to yourself. That's sad. I get sad going back into some of the files I created 10 years ago because I ain't got it anymore. Well, I mean, it goes back to that saying, right? If you think you can or you can't, you're right. So, I mean, don't you're kind of setting yourself up for failure with that attitude. Um, Bjork had a great quote along the lines of follow the thread of creativity, whether it's music or baking or making daisy chains with your nephew. Making daisy chains with your nephew? I don't even know what that means. Which for some reason I took to heart a long time ago and it's done me well. Maybe try new or different familiar discipline of expression or learning. Though this is the old fire for music, will find its way back to you as your primary muse for life. Which I think a lot of these people think like, oh, you got to find that fire again. And yeah, maybe it's cool if the fire is there, but just do it anyway, right? Just open up your session, block out that time, and just do it, right? That whole thing. I mean, come on. Um, yeah, but crazy we have to read books and stuff like that. It's not your creativity; it's your life is that much busier now, and your brain doesn't have time, energy, and space to let it flow. I think we're getting somewhere. When you were in your 20s, you had not much to worry than being creative. Ain't that the truth, right? It was just, yeah, when you're young and dumb and full of inspiration, we'll say, full of inspiration. That's kind of how it felt for me, right? You didn't really have that many responsibilities. You probably didn't have a house. Maybe you had a pet or something like that, but I mean, that's probably the extent of it. Your job probably wasn't so serious. Like if you got fired, it's not like a death sentence. You could just, I don't know, hang out for a while. I don't know. Back then, it was just create music, save it for that new guitar, save it for that new bass, that new synth, whatever it is for you. Or that didgeridoo if that's you watching. Yeah, let's go through a couple more here. So part of it is just mental bandwidth. Back when you had less weight in life, it's heavy. Jesus Christ. You had more space in your brain to mess around. Now, with the career, relationships, life stuff is constantly running in the background. It's harder to reach that zone where ideas just flow, which I'm telling you, you got to block out some time for it. You have to make time for it because back when you didn't really have to because it was that was your whole block. So now you kind of have to say maybe from, man, whatever time you wake up normally, maybe try to wake up a little earlier and block out that time right when you're fresh, make a cup of coffee, maybe right fresh from the shower, go to your computer, say from like 9 to 10, that's your zone. And if you're working, then that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Maybe you could, if you really wanted to, wake up a little bit earlier and do that. I know that's a lot to ask with how crazy life is for everybody, but that's one way to do it, or just do it maybe on the weekends or something like that. Could be something. But yeah, let's do one more here. Complete opposite for me. I'm getting into music at around 29, and I feel light years ahead of the children making music currently. In terms of inspiration and quality and attention to detail, the older you get, the much more sophisticated your music library and data set is, so you should actually have more inspiration to draw from. That's lucky for this guy. Head Broccoli 9117. Keep trucking along. Which I don't know how old he is now because if he's getting into music, or I mean, getting into music at 29, wait, I'm getting into music at around 29. So I guess you are 29. So okay. So if you're saying that right now you're 29 and you're just getting into it and you have all this fire and you feel light years ahead, I mean, that's great. But our poster here, our friend says he got into his mid early 20s and he's approaching 30. So maybe a little bit more time into it because the longer you do anything, the more burnt out of it you become. That's just natural in life, right? Take the coolest thing that you can think of doing and do that every single day from Monday through Friday, 8 hours every single day for your whole life, your whole career. I don't know, until you're like 65 or 70, and then tell me that every day it's going to be fun and inspiring. It just won't, right? That's just how it is. It's going to be oversaturated. Then you're going to probably do other side projects that release that creativity. But that's just a whole tangent. But essentially, to wrap this whole thing up, I would say block out some time, maybe in the morning when you have more energy. Do the hour method, Pomodoro, still however you pronounce that, 25 minutes focus time, 5 to maybe 10 minutes scroll on your phone, whatever it is you want to do, and then do that twice, another 25 minutes, another 10 minutes. If you can do that every day or every other day, and you're going to slowly kind of get back into it. And again, don't rely on motivation because it's not always going to be there. I feel like that's with anything. Even if you're a gym guy, not every single day you're going to want to go to the gym. The hardest part is like picking up your gym bag, getting your shoes on and leaving. That's once you get there, you're like, oh, it's great stuff. This is fine. But yeah. Anyway, hope that helps. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.